Most adults, past 55, approach hydration with good intentions, but flawed assumptions. They're told the solution is simple. Drink more water. Keep sipping endlessly. Carry a giant bottle everywhere. Yet, for many older bodies, this strategy becomes uncomfortable, impractical, and surprisingly ineffective. The truth is, your body is not a passive container waiting to be filled. It is a dynamic system that must absorb, distribute, and regulate fluids efficiently. Today, I'm going to walk you through a doctor-supported 10-minute hydration routine that works with your physiology instead of against it. This guidance doesn't come from generic advice repeated online. It is grounded in rehabilitation science, fluid regulation research, and real clinical observations from working with older adults. We've taken complex physiological concepts and translated them into something safe, gentle, and realistic to perform at home. No costly devices. No gym. Just intelligent movement and smarter intake. Here's what we'll cover. First, 3 simple mobility actions that help your body circulate fluids more effectively. Then, 2 nutritional upgrades that dramatically improve how well your cells retain hydration. And finally, a major mistake that silently undermines hydration efforts for countless seniors. Stay with me until the end, because that final correction often produces the fastest and most noticeable improvement. Let's begin with preparation, a step that is frequently ignored. Hydration success depends not only on what you drink, but on how ready your tissues are to move and accept that fluid. With aging, connective tissues gradually lose elasticity. Fascia becomes stiffer. Circulation slows. Fluid exchange between blood vessels and surrounding tissues becomes less efficient. Gentle movement helps reverse this mechanical resistance. Move 1. Ankle pumps and calf activation. Your calves serve as a secondary pump assisting blood and lymphatic return. When they remain inactive for long periods, fluid can pool in the lower legs, contributing to heaviness or swelling. Sit securely on a stable chair. Place both feet flat. Extend one leg forward with the knee relaxed. Slowly pull your toes toward your shin for a count of 2, then point them away for a count of 2. Continue this smooth motion for 60 seconds. No jerking, no forcing. You should feel only a mild stretch or gentle engagement. If extending the leg feels difficult, keep the foot grounded. Lift your toes, then your heel, rocking back and forth. This still produces the pumping effect with less strain. Switch legs after 1 minute. This movement is deceptively powerful. It mechanically assists venous and lymphatic return, helping redistribute stagnant fluid. Move 2. Rib cage expansion with gentle rotation. Breathing deeply is one of the most overlooked hydration tools. The diaphragm acts as a rhythmic internal pump supporting lymphatic flow. Remain seated upright. Relax your shoulders. Inhale slowly, expanding your rib cage outward. Count to 3. Exhale gently while turning your torso slightly to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale while rotating slightly left. Continue for 90 seconds. The twist should be minimal and comfortable. The breath is the priority. If twisting is uncomfortable, simply focus on deep expansion by placing your hands on your lower ribs and breathing outward into them. This technique mobilizes the diaphragm, encourages internal fluid movement, and stimulates relaxation pathways. Move 3. Shoulder blade squeeze. Upper body tension can restrict circulation to the head and neck. Sit tall. Bend your arms at 90 degrees with elbows at your sides. Slowly draw your shoulder blades together and slightly downward. Hold for 3 seconds. Release gradually. Repeat for 60 seconds. Avoid lifting your shoulders toward your ears. Keep the neck relaxed. Now, let's address intake. Many older adults believe plain water alone is the ultimate solution. However, hydration depends heavily on electrolytes, especially sodium and potassium, which regulate fluid movement across cell membranes. Fix 1. The Salt Smart Morning Glass. Instead of forcing large quantities of water, enhance absorption. Add a very small pinch, roughly 1/8 teaspoon of quality unrefined salt to your first glass of water in the morning. This tiny adjustment supports the sodium-dependent transport mechanisms that assist fluid uptake. Optionally, add lemon or lime for flavor. Individuals with strict sodium restrictions should consult their healthcare provider first. Fix 2. The potassium upgrade. Potassium helps maintain fluid balance inside cells. Many seniors consume far less than needed. Swap low nutrient snacks for potassium-rich options. Consistency matters more than volume. Now for the critical correction. Mistake 3, waiting for thirst. With age, thirst signals weaken. By the time you feel thirsty, dehydration may already be developing. Instead of gulping large amounts at once, adopt small, steady intake. 4 to 5 sips every 15 minutes while awake. This approach improves absorption and reduces unnecessary kidney flushing. If thirst becomes extreme or unusual, seek medical advice. Hydration is not about volume. It is about efficiency. Gentle movement plus mineral balance plus steady intake transforms how your body uses fluids. We've covered the foundation of the routine, but there's more to refine, including common myths about coffee, daily targets, and warning signs. Let's continue by clearing up several hydration myths that frequently confuse older adults and often lead to habits that work against the body. Myth 1. Coffee and tea dehydrate you. This belief has been repeated for decades, yet modern research paints a far more nuanced picture. While caffeine does have a mild diuretic effect, the fluid contained within a normal cup of coffee or tea largely offsets that effect. In practical terms, your morning tea or coffee still contributes to your overall daily fluid intake when consumed in moderation. For most adults, 1 to 3 cups per day do not produce meaningful dehydration. The real problem arises when someone believes these beverages don't count and unnecessarily restricts them, thereby reducing total fluid consumption. Enjoying moderate amounts can actually help maintain hydration consistency, especially for individuals who struggle to drink enough plain water. Myth 2. Everyone must drink exactly 8 glasses a day. The classic 8-glass rule is a reasonable starting point, but it is not a universal prescription. Fluid needs vary depending on body size, climate, medications, physical activity, and overall health. A more individualized guideline often recommended by clinicians is to aim for approximately half your body weight in ounces of fluid per day. This total includes water, herbal teas, milk, soups, and water-rich foods like fruits and vegetables. However, numbers alone can mislead. One of the simplest and most reliable indicators of hydration is urine color. Pale straw or light yellow typically reflects adequate hydration. Very dark yellow suggests concentration. Completely clear urine may indicate overhydration. Myth 3. If I'm not active, I don't need much water. Even during sedentary days, the body continuously loses fluids through breathing, skin, evaporation, and metabolic processes. These losses occur quietly and steadily, regardless of whether you exercise. Older adults often experience fatigue, brain fog, mild headaches, or irritability on rest days. In reality, mild dehydration is frequently the hidden contributor. Hydration is maintenance, not merely recovery from physical exertion. Now let's discuss something rarely emphasized: how aging changes fluid regulation. As we grow older, total body water gradually decreases. Kidney efficiency may decline. Hormonal signals that regulate thirst and fluid retention become less responsive. Certain medications, especially diuretics, blood pressure, drugs, and some antidepressants, can further complicate the balance by increasing urination or dulling thirst perception. This combination creates a perfect storm: reduced thirst awareness, faster fluid loss, less efficient redistribution, which means older adults often operate slightly dehydrated without realizing it. This is precisely why the earlier strategies matter so much. Gentle mobility keeps fluids moving. Electrolytes help fluids stay where needed. Small frequent sips prevent overload and wasteful flushing. Let's now review the complete routine in a clear, structured sequence you can easily remember. Step 1. Prime absorption. Begin your day with a glass of water enhanced by a tiny pinch of unrefined salt. This supports intestinal fluid uptake and prepares the system. Step 2. Activate circulation. Perform ankle pumps for 60 seconds per leg. This encourages venous and lymphatic return from the lower body. Step 3. Mobilize the diaphragm. Practice slow ribcage expansion breathing with a gentle seated rotation for 90 seconds. This stimulates internal fluid movement. Step 4. Release upper body tension. Complete shoulder blade squeezes for 60 seconds to improve posture and vascular flow to the neck and head. Step 5. Reinforce cellular balance. Include a potassium-rich snack such as avocado, yogurt, beans, or leafy greens. Step 6. Override unreliable thirst. Adopt a preemptive sip strategy, 4 to 5 small sips every 15 minutes while awake. This entire sequence requires roughly 10 minutes, yet influences fluid absorption, distribution, and retention across multiple systems: circulatory, lymphatic, muscular, and cellular. Now, let's address warning signals that should never be ignored. Persistent dizziness, confusion, rapid heartbeat, dry mouth, unusually dark urine, or sudden weakness may indicate significant dehydration or other medical issues. Severe or unquenchable thirst can sometimes point to conditions like uncontrolled blood sugar or kidney dysfunction. These symptoms warrant professional evaluation rather than self-correction. Hydration is powerful, but it is not a substitute for medical care when red flags appear. Before we move forward, there's an important psychological barrier worth mentioning. Many seniors avoid drinking fluids because of fear. Fear of frequent bathroom trips, nighttime awakenings, or incontinence episodes. This often leads to intentional underhydration, which unfortunately worsens bladder irritation, increases infection risk, and reduces energy levels. Ironically, drinking too little frequently makes urinary symptoms worse, not better. A smarter approach involves steady, daytime sipping, front-loading fluids earlier in the day, and tapering intake a few hours before bedtime rather than drastic restriction. Next, we'll explore advanced refinements, how hydration affects joint comfort, cognitive sharpness, blood pressure, stability, and why some people feel swollen despite drinking enough. We'll also cover simple adjustments for hot climates, illness, and travel. Let's move into the deeper benefits and refinements that make this hydration strategy especially powerful for adults over 50. One of the most noticeable improvements many people report after correcting hydration habits is reduced joint stiffness. Cartilage is largely composed of water. Synovial fluid, the natural lubricant inside your joints, depends on adequate fluid balance. When hydration drops even slightly, this lubrication becomes less efficient, and movements may feel creaky, tight, or resistant. This is why some individuals feel dramatically better, not after drinking more randomly, but after improving fluid absorption and distribution. Movement plus electrolytes plus steady intake restores the mechanical environment inside the joints. Hydration also plays a critical role in muscle performance. Even mild dehydration can increase the likelihood of cramps, fatigue, and that heavy, sluggish sensation in the legs. Older adults often assume this discomfort is simply aging, yet muscles deprived of optimal fluid balance cannot contract and relax smoothly. When the ankle pumps are combined with consistent sipping, many people notice fewer nighttime leg cramps, less heaviness in the calves, improved walking comfort. Now let's talk about the brain, because hydration profoundly influences cognitive clarity. Your brain is approximately 75% water. Fluid imbalance can affect concentration, memory, mood, and alertness. Mild dehydration has been associated with increased confusion, reduced attention span, headaches, irritability. Older adults are particularly vulnerable because thirst signals weaken while fluid requirements remain essential. This is where the preemptive sip strategy becomes transformative. Instead of waiting for thirst, a delayed and unreliable cue, you maintain a steady supply that supports circulation, oxygen, delivery, and neural function. Another major area influenced by hydration is blood pressure stability. When the body lacks sufficient fluid, blood volume can drop slightly. This may contribute to dizziness upon standing, light, or that brief head rush. Proper hydration helps maintain circulatory volume, supporting smoother transitions from sitting to standing. However, balance is key. Excessive fluid without adequate electrolytes can dilute sodium levels, which may also cause fatigue or dizziness. This reinforces why hydration is not simply drink more, but rather drink smarter. Now let's address a confusing experience many seniors face. Why do I feel swollen if I'm drinking enough? Fluid retention does not always mean overhydration. Often, it reflects poor fluid movement or electrolyte imbalance. When circulation is sluggish or sodium-potassium balance is disrupted, water may accumulate in tissues instead of being effectively utilized. Gentle mobility, especially calf activation and diaphragmatic breathing, helps redistribute fluids. Adequate potassium intake supports cellular balance. Strategic sodium assists transport. Swelling is frequently a fluid regulation issue, not merely a fluid volume issue. Let's cover practical adjustments for real-life situations. During hot weather, increase sip frequency. Add electrolyte support. Avoid large, infrequent gulps. During illness, fever, diarrhea, infection, fluid and electrolyte needs rise significantly. Small, frequent intake becomes even more critical. During travel, cabin air, and long sitting periods, increase fluid loss and pooling. Ankle pumps are extremely helpful on flights or car rides. Before bedtime, do not drastically restrict fluids all day. Instead, taper intake 2 to 3 hours before sleep. Now, a gentle but important reminder. Hydration strategies support health, but they are not replacements for medical care. Persistent swelling, severe fatigue, confusion, or dramatic changes in urination patterns should always be evaluated by a healthcare professional. Let's briefly reconnect with the philosophy behind this routine. This is not about forcing your body, not about chugging water, not about chasing arbitrary numbers. It is about efficiency, absorption, and circulation. By combining tissue-friendly movement, electrolyte awareness, steady intake patterns, you align hydration with how the aging body actually functions. Many people who follow this approach for just 1 week report subtle but meaningful changes. More stable energy, clearer thinking, reduced muscle tightness, less afternoon fatigue, and, perhaps most importantly, a reduced sense of constantly trying to catch up on fluids. Because true hydration is not a race, it's a rhythm. If you imagine your body as a landscape, hydration is not a flood dumped all at once. It is a gentle, continuous irrigation system that keeps every cell nourished, responsive, and balanced. And when that rhythm is restored, many of the discomforts people attribute to aging begin to soften, including that persistent feeling of dryness, heaviness, and low-level exhaustion that so many adults quietly accept as inevitable signs of getting older. But they are not inevitable. They are often signals that your body is asking for a more intelligent, more supportive hydration approach. Let's bring everything together one final time. Hydration after 55 is not just about drinking water. It is about helping your body absorb, circulate, and retain that fluid where it truly matters. That means priming the system with a mineral-smart morning glass, using gentle movement to reduce fluid stagnation, supporting cellular balance with potassium-rich foods, replacing large gulps with steady, rhythmic sips. This is a strategy built on physiology, not guesswork. And remember, the most important shift of all, do not wait for thirst. Do not force uncomfortable volumes. Work with your body's natural mechanics. Small adjustments practiced consistently create the biggest changes. If you commit to this routine for just 7 days, pay close attention to what you notice. Is your energy? Do your muscles feel less tight? Are those minor headaches less frequent? Do you feel lighter, clearer, more comfortable in your own body? These are often the first quiet indicators that your cells are finally receiving and using the hydration you provide. Because true hydration is not something you feel in your stomach. It's something you feel in your clarity, your movement, your comfort, your vitality. If this guidance helps you see hydration in a new way, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit: a parent, a partner, a friend navigating the same changes. And I'd love to hear from you. Which part of the routine feels most doable for you? The ankle pumps? The breathing expansion? The steady sip strategy? Your experience may help someone else more than you realize. Take care of your body gently, consistently, and patiently. It has supported you for decades. Now it simply needs hydration delivered in a way that respects how it has evolved. Stay well, stay steady, and most importantly, stay hydrated.